Welcome in. This is Live Free 603, and I'm Ryan. Now, you guys have obviously seen me on this channel. First is like the Gnostic Nomad, then the Outpost Nomad, and I could go into like long detail of how that whole thing came to be. But let's just say the Gnostic Nomad started as a troll account on X. It just means the knowledge nomad, like I know more than you. It was a very prideful time of my knowledge journey, and I thought it was kind of witty, and I went with it. And then when I decided to start doing YouTube, man, it's fucking getting pounded with the smoke right now. And so when I actually started to decide to make YouTube content back when I was the Gnostic Nomad channel, it was kind of so I basically started producing content on YouTube as a way to like show, okay, this is what my skill levels are at, and that's it, really. You know what I mean? Not really to like brag or to try and like prove I'm better than anybody or anything like that. It's more, here's like a display of my skill set. This is what I work on. This is what I train on. These are the kinds of projects that I keep around where I live. And that's basically kind of like how I got started. And then I kind of befriended a well-known YouTuber playing some video games, and he had some ideas about, you know, like how I could make better content. And you know, it was at the time it was fun, and it was like entertaining, and but I felt like I was like kind of like creating this persona and not really kind of being myself. So that kind of started losing its charm as well for me too. So then it leads us back here, like Live Free 603. All right. Well, 603, for those that aren't in the know, it's an area code for the state of New Hampshire. All of New Hampshire resides within the 603 area code. Therefore, New Hampshire is just known by the locals that live within this state as the 603. Our motto is live free or die. So didn't really get all that creative with the name, but Live Free in the 603, I think, represents exactly what we're doing here. We're living free, we're exercising our rights, we are homesteading, we're breaking free from the chains that enslave society. But that has come with a cost. So why I haven't been making content lately? Well, 2 weeks ago, we suffered a tragic loss here at the Outpost. Kind of our worst fears come to true. Times two showed up. Hungry adolescent black bears that were very aggressive. And yeah, it was eye-opening for both my wife and I. I can't tell you when it was that they actually showed up, because we didn't have good perimeter security cameras up. We had one that looked at our farm stand out at the road, and our chicken coops are literally within like 10-15 feet from our house, minus the two boys in their little, you know, makeshift pens that I got them in. And then we had the other flock that was in the coop that's over by the storage tent. And luckily it was a gym morning. My wife wakes up super early to go to the gym. She has her like bike classes or whatever that she does. And she got up and she came running back inside, and it was like 4 something in the morning. It was like almost 4:30. And she's like, something got into one of the chicken coops. And we've been having bad predator problems this year, but it's been mostly raccoons and just mostly nuisance stuff, you know. And I figured that one of the raccoons got into the run and made a mess, and then I get outside to seeing my wife going. She was about, I don't know, 20 or 30 feet ahead of me. And then all of a sudden this big black object was startled, and luckily when it bolted towards the woods, which was away from my wife. It was completely unarmed. And these bears have been later found to be quite nuisances. They're all over the local Facebook pages, just tearing people's houses and decks and trash storages, dumpsters. They're just tearing everything to pieces. I was at the local gun store buying myself a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 and in purple, because, you know, I'm fashionable these days. And the guy at the gun store literally told me that somebody within this direct area between when that had happened and when I had bought the new handgun, that somebody had gotten charged by an adolescent aggressive black bear and had to put it down with his everyday carry. So I don't know what it is this season. Everybody locally in this area has been talking about insane increased activity with the predators. So since then, all-out war has been waged on wildlife on this premises. I have zero tolerance rule now. We have 4 cameras, all outfitted with infrared floodlights and night vision cameras. So literally, I mean, it's probably hilarious actually. Like, I mean, I've seen what this property looks like under night vision, but like if like a pilot flew over and he had like night vision on, my property would probably glow pretty hard, because I think in total now there's 6 cameras with 6 IR floodlights all running now total on the entire property. And then we have that all like set up on my computer monitors, like in the main room, and then also in the bedroom we have it set up on the TV there to be able to view all of the cameras at once on one screen. And we have the alerts get texted to my wife's phone, and she's a very light sleeper. So we make a good team. You know, I take the first... I'll tell you what, the first week was rough. We didn't have much for anything set up other than the pure fear that these bears were going to return and try and finish off the rest of our main flock, because they also tried to break into the main coop as well. So they tried peeling roof back. They tried breaking in through the feed storage area and then started ripping off pieces of sheathing, trying to break through to get into the main chicken coop. So that kind of sent me into like war mode. I knew that these bears were out for blood, and even though so from the original attack, unfortunately it was on the coop that was next to the tent. It was from my 12 Isa Browns. We lost both the roosters that were in there. Unfortunately, Oreo, seeing him tore up, man, he was like a dog to me. Yeah, that was tough losing him. And then I lost to four of the strongest girls. Unfortunately, the way the bear broke into where they were, that was like their little nook where they slept, the four of the dominant females that ran that flock. And unfortunately, it cost them their life in the end. I lost four of my, like, some of my best hens, my best rooster, well, my most behaved and well-tempered rooster, and then his counterpart, who was like his direct twin almost. And he got it even worse. There was barely anything left of him by the time we got out there. And there was two of them. There was one out in the woods eating while the other one was doing all the killing in the coops. And we caught them red-handed in the act. It totally inspired my wife to want to learn how to do firearms. So that's one of the positives that came out of this. And then the obvious, the takeaways of, like, you know, learning how weak our defenses were to bear attacks. You know, learning how weak our defenses were to bear attacks at the time was eye-opening, and the fact that we were able to get away without losing our entire flock, I guess, is a blessing, right? Because we could have lost everybody, but these two fucking dumb roosters that don't do anything for me other than crow at almost 9 p.m. But we got we finally wrapped up a lot of stuff. The wife's been trying to keep working while we've been trying to keep going around the clock, you know, monitoring these guys and making sure that if those bears show back up, we're going to be ready for them. She's going to be ready for them, and she's suppressed now as well, so I can really let the retribution flow. But, you know, we're going to keep making content. I didn't really want to turn this tragedy into content. This is more just me kind of catching you guys up. That said, I got to get these chickens to bed, and I got to get this fire stoked. So, wherever you are, hopefully you're living free. That's it, everybody. You have a good night. Be safe. Make sure that you and your loved ones are safe. Have a good night, everyone.